today. Today, Radio Democracy will look inside alleged concern where some people get about how the Salon police don't they do their work now the country. And for can look into this issue more, right now at this time, I welcome my studio guest. I welcome Michael Aswalo, when a president for the Salon Bar Association. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sabtu.
And also we get between at the studio Ibrahim Tommy, when are the executive director for Center of Accountability and Rule of Law, Carl. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you very much. I'm glad for the.
In line with the guest here, we also expect somebody from the Salon Police also. Well, the program Good Morning Salon they continue as we state concern on the commot from different people, but how the Salon Police don't they do their work and the Salon Bar Association. Now one association where we can see can come out with key issues them, especially we get for do we do the system, law enforcement, and how the Salon Police they do things them, and also then can raise concern on things that we them feel say they against the human rights of people them, and waiting na they hold so far and the input on this particular issue. Once more, I welcome the president for Salon Bar Association, Michael Aswalo. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So before we go to the issue, generally, let's look at you being the president for over 1 year now. How it don't tell like being a female president for the Salon Bar Association? How you don't execute you mandate them?
Oh, thank you very much. I don't think at this role more than a year, because before then I was a president and then I was elected. It's not easy for be president of a male-dominated profession, but we did try. One thing we like about profession is that we 100% literate and we all respect everybody, and anybody when they put it, they know some possibly capable for doing work. So I don't enjoy my job, and I enjoy the support what I get from my members them.
All right, so we come to the issue we bring you at today this morning. We look at concern them where the public don't raise concerning how the Salon Police they do their work generally, and the issue where don't they happen in the country from last week to now. We still say owner the Bar Association we pull a press release to say owners have been condemned the actions of the police. And not to today, institutions like the Bar Association don't they raise concern even before now over the years. You predecessor themselves don't they do the same thing. What thing really bring the Salon Bar Association to this point for come out and condemn the actions of the police, especially the way they treat people them way they can consider as detainee them within a different facility them.
Okay, thank you. One thing I'm glad from the question where you draw is that this is not new. So the police then get plenty work. They get mandate for detect crime, for apprehend offenders, for protect life and property, for maintain law and order. And in doing all of this, it's not easy. They get challenges, they don't get challenges over the years. We all know it's not a new thing this, we don't get for long years now, police brutality, police excesses, police this. And I know they also get challenges in terms of training and all that thing. But what to make we kind inside this stem, what to make this situation unique? Now because by then young press statement, then confirm say they implement an SOP where in your opinion is illegal. So in this particular case, this case unique because for the first time we hear and say yes, something there where they go on were illegal. So we get for come out and say no, this particular thing for caught a detainee or accused person in here whilst it awaits for gonna court or for let court take in the process, it completely illegal. It is against the constitution. It is against other international treaties that we Salon don't sign. So this is why we come out with this statement.
A lot of issues them don't they come up, especially for bring down the dignity of the detainee who they talk about now when a popular musician where people can call LJ, where a name na Alaji Amadu Lamana Bar, from where the police Olam on Sunday, the 12th, if I write with the date, then don't tap in family and say for don't the suicide in lawyer don't come out the grant interview on the social media say you know people get access to them. Una as legal people now the normal procedure this treat somebody where they not found guilty yet, and just they investigate them according to the press release or the police pool. They're stopping family, not for get access to her and save that of a lawyer.
Well, as we say, this particular issue, why it's so concerned with, see, it's not about LJ or the fact saying a popular musician or anything. Now, the fact say this kind of action, it can happen to anybody. And if it dey against the law, we don't want police for set this as a precedent. So, we constitution guarantee, say, if they hold you, you forget right for see your lawyer, you forget right for speak to your lawyer confidentially. So if we constitution, when our secret document don't guarantee you the accused that right today, why the police are not for follow them? So this is why we came out with that press release.
So looking at the salon bar situation, coming strong on this particular issue, is it that when I get selected issues when I look at, or when I get concern of all?
No, we don't have selected. We have issues as long as it touch on the rule of law. We have to look into this. We touch into people's rights. We have to look into it. It's not about a particular person. It's about making Sierra Leone better. So this kind of SOP, in my opinion, it's archaic. You don't say. Salon don't move from that. We don't progress. We don't make laws there now. We don't make them kind of action there so illegal. So if it happen and the police by their own admission, they don't bring them to we knowledge, we have to tell them this is wrong.
So how much the salon bar situation not to follow the mandate of the salon police of protecting lives and property? What will be your general description of the salon police so far and how they don't do their work?
As I say, police work challenging. If una can recall the other day,
they don't work in the interest of the public.
As I can say, police work challenging. The other day we can recall, we see one video where people in the pull police apart and all disrespect is challenging. But where police they work, two things then they were very key and important in the dispensation of their duty. One, they forget the public trust and confidence. If you don't get the public trust and confidence, how you go work? Secondly, in executing their duty, because na law and order you want maintain, you for make sure say you self act within the confines of the law. And the only way this you will get the trust of the public, and the only way this you will able for do the duty in the way you for do them.
All right, continue for the program, Michaela. In case you just tuning, that's the voice of the president for the Salon Bar Association. Today they look inside alleged concern where citizens and get concerning the way how the police they do their work and how people on the call for end police brutality. When they come back now studio to one of who guests them, we are the executive director for the Center for the Accountability and the Rule of Law, Carl. And as I don't hear the name, Carl now one of the civil society organization them where don't they talk on different things them we get for do with upholding the rule of law, especially we campaign constitutional matter them. Ibrahim Tommy don't there for several years, don't they call out some of the ill issues them we get for do with the salon laws and save the constitution. Mr. Tommy there again, not so new thing this over the years. You don't need at the same studio, we don't talk about police brutality, we don't talk about the way how the police they handle certain issues them we get for do with the citizens them. From last week to now, I believe so you don't follow issues them now the social media citizens them don't they call out the police on issues that where they then feel say the police they do wrong. And the case study for now the issue we get for do with a popular musician way now LJ, how the police people they allege say they don't they treat them, they don't they take off indignity and safe issues that we get for do with human rights. From Carl perspective, how una don't they monitor and see the way how police don't they handle this particular issue we get for do with LJ?
Clearly, I think they don't exceed their limits. There can be no justification for that kind of mistreatment. It's degrading. It has no place in our society, and this is the reason. Keep in mind that LJ, as we speak, not just a suspect. That is the most important thing. We know in other places, even in America, they get prisons and we get their own rules. From prison, from state to state, they go say a convict no can we prison if no, if you get let's say, dreadlocks here. But then now when you have been convicted, and there are standards or man known, this not just a suspect. And to be honest, I don't tell, like you say, we would monitor acts of police brutality, degrading treatment to citizens in general. But now the first 10 days are really, perhaps not the profile of the person, but the first 10 days me here is really then shave off somebody in here. Forceful, of course, it had to be forceful. And more importantly, as they say, not just a suspect. So think about it. In case after the investigation, they conclude, say, we'll not even get sufficient evidence for charge, or they even charge, they acquit and discharge him. How many times LJ don't get brushes with the law? They go to police cell and come on. So this is a different holding setup, I guess. And I don't even know, maybe there is a legal basis for that. But I understand now OSD them. We'll go talk about the OSD them from the days as ISU, SSD, OSD. When we talk about police brutality in a salon, to be honest, not them, not the one unit within the salon police we really need for target for reforms. Because the general duty or service police officers, for the most part, the traffic police will know what they can do, right? The one that they take statement will know it's not the issues. It's about bribery, it's about corruption. Let's call it out. Then when they OSD them, they really not the illegal use of force and the degrading treatment when they met out. You talk about how long, just on June 19th, this is not just about 3 years ago, we an advocate, we issue a statement. I go back in recent time, I can go way back to many years ago, but a lot taken in the last 3, 4, 5 years. We issue a press release after the police clash with civilians in our APC headquarters. We see on video how they manhandle citizens, right? Fast forward, when I remember the IPAM incident, that female student police drag. IPCB, this is the Independent Police Complaints Board. So in other words, there have been efforts over the years to make sure there is civilian oversight of the salon police. In the past, it was just the police. Now you get ONS, you get IPCB, you get HRCSL, even ACC to some extent. All these are mechanisms which are run by civilians for ensure there is oversight of the salon police. IPCB investigator IPAM incident, for example. Why make I talk about this? I tell you, say, we have made progress in terms of holding them to account, but there is still a huge gap for make sure say we hold them accountable for what they do, and perhaps that's where the problem is.
Mr. Tommy, it's good we get you Naya today for talk on this topic, because you know one person, even with listener then go agree say your voice not new again well to talk about alleged police brutality on the citizens. And this particular issue we look at today, it don't start since last week Sunday. And 2 allegations don't they come at play. One, they all get for shaving the dreadlocks of the musician. 2, now that forcefully inject them with a red substance. Now, an interview with Media 2, the deputy head of media na the Salon Police, na his sister radio station and television, AYV, where a grant interview, it deny all the allegation they are so. Then all of a sudden, now a press release where the same Salon Police pool, they accept say yes, then shave the musician in here, where according to them, na part of the SOP of this particular holding center, where this person did. We then mix statement there, so don't they come out from the police. You want to agree, say, yes, they really inject this musician with this red substance where people they allege say they forcefully inject them for cutting the dreadlocks?
Of course, I'm not gonna know whether they inject them, because the only person who could tell you that one they na LJ, and beyond what he could tell you, I'm sure there are medical ways for confirm that. But what they say, Khadija, we very important to this conversation. Now, how then did they further diminish public trust in the police, not just in what they tell us, but even how then they execute their mandate. It's a PR disaster for let you be the deputy spokesperson for the police. They flat out denying waiting people in the allege. Then in less than 24 hours, you see a statement where they now confirm saying, indeed, we shave off the man here because it's consistent with some standard operating procedures, which, by the way, we never see. I'm very interested in the police. And like Madam President say, they play a very important role. If police not in a saloon, we all perhaps not go there. It's a very important role they play, and they do it in such a difficult context. But they make it more difficult when they really go out of their way for attract this kind of unnecessary attention to themselves. They can definitely, all the challenges where police face are true, but none of them challenges them. They explain why they go shave off somebody in here forcefully in the name of some standard operating procedures when or only they pop up after public concerns about this. It's not fair, it's wrong, it shouldn't be happening.
So shaving in here, Mr. Tommy. Another issue that only come up from the solicitor for LAJ, now that then deny him access to him clients. Then secondly, on Tuesday, following the Sunday, they arrest him. It happened for me to think client and CID, then bring and come day for can take statement. When are they in safe according to Ramsey and say in the get locks don't shave off. And client tell and say if they sleep na beer grown, they handcuff and then be in back and with ordinary boxer. Now so it is sleep na the cell outside then lock him. All the treatments they have for a detainee according to the law. Now, thing the way the police for apply.
Whether you're a suspect, an accused, or a convict, you have rights. So the Luanda guidelines, where I'm sure the police leadership, the police personnel, they receive plenty training. So me, I keep saying, okay, police need training. Yes, they need training, but I'm not thinking a lack of knowledge because all of this. I just think just a plain impunity for some of these actions. And let's talk about this for a moment, Khadija. You see, very recently, one policeman, they will go shoot and kill somebody over land. In less than 2 months, they prosecute, convict, send that man, they go convict her for manslaughter, they jail, serve 5-year prison term. But that was when he was pursuing his own individual, personal, private agenda. Waiting now with problem right now in this salon is when a police officer, even if it is on a lawful assignment, it then do an unlawful thing, that protection where it get from state actors. So, for example, if IPCB investigate and compile a report and recommend, say, if this is not thing way for established criminal liability, send it to the law officers department, to DPP. Waiting DPP they do or fail for do, now part of the problem. Or send it to the IG, say this require disciplinary action or administrative action. The failure of the IG or then two offices them for make sure say they act on their recommendations is part of the problem. So it is wrong to answer your question more directly. It is even to some extent criminal for let you treat anybody like that. In other words, any treatment where they outside the law, it's wrong, it's illegal, and it shouldn't be happening. And we care about human rights credentials as a country. So we cannot be going out there talking about human rights protection and one for let them hold you as a bastion of human rights. But here, they violate people and rights. This is not even about LAJ. By the way, I've never met him. I know I've seen him on video, but I don't know him as a person. I've never, ever met him. But it's not about him. But why make public attention there? Because they use one case, right, for then address a lot of other issues. Human Rights Commission, they shortly start public hearing into police abuses, I think going way back to 2015 to date. I really go urge the Human Rights Commission for go down to places like Bay, depressed communities for special hearings. Let them talk about Benghazi.
So looking at the urge, Mr. Tommy, don't they hear from the lawyer for the father of LAJ, don't they come out, he don't write, I think, 1 or 2 pieces on the collaboration with the Human Rights Commission where they don't get access to this detainee when I LAJ, but all of them attempt so then they make it not seem for be successful. The Human Rights Commission in all of this, the power not seem for whole for talk to the police. When I get access to this lawyer, let it get information from this detainee. You think so they really get that power in this?
You have to give them credit, right? You have to really give the Human Rights Commission credit. They have done a fantastic job in this current circumstance. They not get police force. They not get soldier. We go say let overpower the police force so they not Benghazi. No, what they did and clearly what any Human Rights Commission would do in this circumstance. Now, for make representation, say we don't hear about some allegation of human rights violation. We want for see the suspect. Do and give people the lawyers of this detainee access to let talk to them. They did that. That's fantastic. But what you are saying there, and which is really scary speaking for myself, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, is when a state body like the Human Rights Commission go now a holding center, a police cell, and say, we are representatives of the Human Rights Commission, please grant us access. It is within their power. The act will establish Human Rights Commission, give them that power. So basically, not just flagrant disrespect for state institutions. So the police should be seeing themselves, and this is a very important point, I have to make this. Not to police create the law or the constitution, or not even government or, for example, office of the president or AG create the constitution. Now the constitution creates the institutions. They are all. The police empowers, now the constitution creates them, and the laws them whether they make now based on what the constitution provides. So when the Human Rights Commission come, when now a statutory creature, obviously they get power from the constitution and say it is within our powers for come here and get access to somebody, you refuse them. It shows one of two things: either you're not aware of the law or you just want to disrespect the law, and that is unacceptable. And police leadership for no need, therefore communicate it to everybody, demand their police facilities.
Continue for the way to name now Ibrahim Tommy, the executive director for Center of Accountability and Rule of Law. Today inside the program Good Morning Salon, where they look at concern the way people get, but how the Salon police don't they do their work. And this time around, when they come over to the Salon Bar Association, President Michael Aswalo, where you start for the premise, you talk about the issue of public trust and confidence, where the Salon, where for the among the Salon police and citizen. Now let's look at why we get an opposite twist between the Salon police and the public. Instead of them protecting lives and property of people, now the opposite people that they see.
Yes, so I'm glad the way you use the word that the opposite people and they see. So perception can always different from the work where people and they actually do. Because as I sit down here, I'm not going to say police not they do in work at all. Police or any other institution, you get good police, you get bad police. And any institution, you get bad procedure, you get good procedure. Because me not think say anybody in the right sense or when a good police will sit down and blatantly disregard the law. You understand? So for me, I think they are doing their job. But on the other side, then get issues they would need for deal with. Then get things that they need for progress. So this government don't make a lot of strides for raise the profile, the human rights profile of Sierra Leone, now the world at large. So for example, they don't pull this seditious libel law, they don't abolish the death penalty. But then you come back to the police and then they do certain things then where they erode on then strides there with government they make. And for we as a citizen, as I don't tell you now, like we so where we own mandates now for ensure say we maintain the rule of law, we make sure say people then go according to waiting at the law. We not go see something like this, we keep quiet. So as I said, the uniqueness of this situation is for the police for them in their own words, then count and say, we use this SOP, we shave this detainee in aid. Where they against we constitution. We constitution blatantly say nobody know for torture or suffer cruel or inhuman treatment. Secondly, the other issue is that when they arrest person, if you get right to in lawyer, and if you get right for talk to that lawyer, they confidentially, this as well, if you now see the open letter where we colleague Madi used to say right, it states all the allegations, and the two main allegations there were erased. So as we all role as a bar association, now for bring and come to them police here and notice say whatever you are doing is wrong, it's illegal, and then we ask the independent police complaints board for looking into the issue. We also ask police council for looking into the issue. If you look at the press release, we ask for 4 things them we touch and concern people their human rights, because as we say it can happen to anybody. And at this day and age, at this stage in the world the world today, the world things the treaties the world don't sign, the law the world don't make, we have moved beyond this type of SOPs.
So looking at the issue of LJ in specific, there are so many concerns we don't come out, so many alleged concerns, the issue of shaving, inject, and all of that. But one thing where the public not gets it clearly, now waiting really happen, as in waiting really LJ do. In terms of Onayon role in all of this, I mean, you think that the police don't try for be fair to the public and LAJ himself and also in people around them, like in family and also in lawyer representative, where they're not able to know yet, give enough or tangible explanation for say, these are the crime of LAJ?
Okay, so in their own press release, and say then they investigate for robbery with violence.
People get counter view to that.
Yes, so that is why we have procedures. That is why we have laws, and that is why we have systems. So if you accuse somebody of something, there is a process to be followed. Investigation they go on, and the police, as in say, then they investigate. These are very serious crime. Then they investigate this crime, and then they take up to 10 days. The Constitution gives them that power. They say when crimes of a certain nature, you can do this investigation within 10 days. So they are doing that. So we are waiting for them to profile these charges. At the end of the day, law will see the gravity of them. But on the crime itself, I cannot, because it's ongoing investigation. Law waits, law hearing, waiting the investigation say. And this is why we always try for preserve the dignity, respect of people, especially the presumption of innocence. So that's one key and fundamental principle in law. When at the presumption of innocence, you are presumed innocent until proven guilty.
So other view they say why LAJ in your case so different just with alleged robbery, where other people in the, according to Mr. Tomedia, is this case where they follow of a police somebody will shoot person. Why you think say LAJ forget so much the inhuman, I mean treatment from the Salone police just based on the allegation of robbery?
So as me say, for me, it's not about LAJ. For me, it's about the police carrying on a system which is wrong. You understand? And the only person who go answer why the police then behave this kind of way to LAJ or to the people that will go for Fena or then kind of thing, now the police. And because now subjects of investigation, I'm not going to say much on that issue. But what I can say here is, when you arrest somebody in the pursuit of your investigation, you get rights for seeing lawyer, you get rights for talk to in lawyer confidentially. When you hold somebody in detention, no SOP or rules where any agency or institution will make pass the Constitution. The Constitution are in supreme. You even if that SOP them don't day in operation, the Constitution say by this right will they guarantee any such rule or waiting be done day in operation, it don't become illegal.
Okay.
So I think the police therefore step up and be progressive and do things there now where they in tandem with the current laws.
All right, Michael, I'll bring in Mr. Tommy. Listening to certain issues them where the president for the bar don't bring out, it clearly they should see in this particular issue, the police no go according to within the Constitution give them power for do. But again, let we try for divert the conversation a bit. This police, what they talk about, government agency day, where now then they regulate them, when at that of the office of the vice president, where the vice president himself, now the head of the police council. With all this pressure, we don't they come out from the public through the social media. We not hear anything yet from government where now the office of the vice president, when now head of the police council don't come out and make statements. Una from Carl, they join the public for expect say yes at this point with all the different instances. Then we have don't point at how the police they go above their limits, especially when come handling issues we get for the citizen. Now they expect say the office of the vice president when then they supervise the police for don't come out by now and make a statement apart from a legend issue. Several issues then we get for the police brutality.
I mean, a statement would be in order, but I mean, statement fine, but we too really want action. Action go speak. I mean, louder than words, as I can say. So waiting, may they expect the very least. What they expect now for make an IPCB not even need the VP office for tell and say investigate. Then can on their own motion so much too they can launch an investigation. But I hope say LAJ in Fambulem or in lawyer, then don't file a complaint to the IPCB. But without a complaint, they can, even on their own motion, investigating they go on. At the very least, Twitter they expect from the office of the vice president, now for make sure say they allow the IPCB or even give IPCB all the support for undertake an investigation. It's got to be time bound. Let not be one of the investigation that will take 6 years. Time bound, do them speedily, but more importantly, and this is the point I was making earlier on, more importantly, any outcome, make them enforce and make them implement them, because the challenge with IPCB they face, in addition to logistical, personnel, and all of that, now the fact say, then they work in very difficult circumstances, then do good reports, make recommendations, but we see implementation very slow or sometimes even non-existent. So what I'd expect from the office of the vice president and indeed the IPCB now for make sure so they move quickly and investigate this. But it's not just this. I tell you right, there are many, many other cases. In the past, we still sit on the, I've read the report, then 2021 report, the IPCB, very interesting. And I encourage members of the public to read more. People are complaining. There are many, many cases of police abuses. Many complaints coming to the IPCB. Then they investigate and they conclude. But the biggest challenge the IPCB get, they cannot enforce. All they do, as I've said, is to compile a report. And if it's one that needs to establish criminal liability, then send it to the DPP or IGP now for administrative or disciplinary action. Nyanda, the problem good. For example, there are PAM students who talk about, and this is the thing, we all salon, they talk about one thing, 1-2 weeks, then we all forget, move on. And that's what, we know they consistently, I know the media get for move, the media not go wait, civil society get for move, we not they wait. But we, when they do programming in civil society, NGOs, now your responsibility for stay on the issues there. A lot of people, when this thing happen, put press release, run out 2-3 radio stations, and then they relax. Nobody's keeping tabs on that. Well, last time we checked into that matter, what happened was the police, the IPCB recommended, then 2 police inspectors them, let them take disciplinary, tough disciplinary action against them, and then the university, IPAM, when mismanaged that whole thing, let themselves look into that. IPAM, the last time they said they don't institute disciplinary proceedings against the university staff. Police, me, I don't know. State today, we know anything but that. Okay. That is not to say, however, I will be very unfair if I give the impression like the police not institute disciplinary action. The CDID, they sometimes do a very good job. They hold their own to account. But the cases sometimes are minor cases and all of that. When it comes to the big issues, Khadija, this is the point. When it comes to unlawful killings, really serious degrading treatment like the one they talk about, especially if the police now they take and say, now we give them instructions or orders for acts, even if not lawful orders, but they execute it in a very illegal way or in a way where they violate the person's rights, and they expect the leadership of the police not to for disown your staff. I understand for personnel morale, you get for support them, but there's a limit to you go do that, and we're not going to make your institution lose public trust and confidence. And the police cannot do its job if you not get massive support from the police, from the public.
We already first, Mr. Tommy. We will come back to you. Go continue for make you points them. We continue with the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. We'll still look at issues them. We get for do with alleged police brutality, where Salon citizens in them, don't they call on the police for take certain action, especially way campaign, the way how then they do their work. Well, now the studio now want to welcome the head of the police media, when Assistant Commissioner of Police, Brema Kamara. Good morning, police media, and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Good morning.
All right, I believe say you don't follow the program before you come to studio. We get the president for the Salon Bar Association and self we get a civil society activist where then your work now for look at the rule of law. All them two guests there, so don't condemn the actions of the police, especially where campaign the way how on handle the issue we get for do with a popular musician when Alaji Amadou Lamranaba where people can call LJ. The police be arrested from Sunday last week to now, and according to a lawyer and a relative, them up till now they're not able to get access to the detainee owner gets now on a £1 holding center there where people they call Benghazi. Just start for give background as to wetin bring the arrest of this particular musician wey dey talk about.
Yeah, thank you very much for letting us take the opportunity for talk to the public. At the end of the day, the public will make informed decision based on the perspectives of where they come. And firstly, on the 12th, when last week, was it last week Sunday? One of the Sundays of this month. I take me to go watch football in Guinea. That time make for understand. Then drive into one place now, main motor road, Leone, for go buy fuel, and buy the fuel. And all of a sudden, they put up fight. The same money they pay, jog and back again. Same money we pay. Jog the money back from the people, put up fight, and then they moved on. We get to go arrest them. Just imagine from main motor road. We have to go arrest them up gone. So we say else we investigate them allegedly for robbery with aggravation, where a felonious offense, a serious offense. And so then we custody. And then at the end of the day, we decide say, it's just a matter of this is what we have at the SOP. The SOP where they operate now, that holding center, whoever go there, especially for male, especially for male, where we say we look at your well-being, we look at your health.
The SOP only implied for that holding center.
For that, I'm talking about that holding center. Lot talk about now because I end the issue under discussion, and so because of your health, because of your safety, because of security, we decide for implement within the SOP. And also people they say you not get any legal basis, but you get legal basis, honestly.
But this holding center where they talk about Assistant Commissioner of Police, not only first tennis, the police don't hold this particular detainee, now this particular holding center, if I can remember, twice now. But the SOP where you say it implied for this particular holding center, the police not ever implement them. Why now?
No, now things that happen, where they lead you to, and that's why they make law itself where they make. Now things that happen in society where they make people and say, okay, let me do this. If you look at the Sexual Offences Act, the Amendment Act, because of the multiplicity of complaints, we will get all over the place for sexual penetration. You decide for a pillar.
So what is special?
So the 12th amendment.
What is special?
No, if I not give the background, if you ask me question,
Commissioner, what is special about this alleged crime of robbery with aggravation, where make the police decide for implement this SOP owner say it already be done they exist for this particular holding center?
The question
is, when I don't hold this person. Now this holding center, not to the first 10 days, not to the second 10 days. The police not ever implement this SOP. Why now? What is special with this crime?
The question is, this what will happen? I know the first it will happen too. The question there is no. The time when they develop the SOP for that place, following reports the way we get people, we don't get somebody we end up for loss of life in there. You know that? OSC officer. Understand? We also don't get people in. We don't go there, we make a lot of attempts for do a lot of things. So now that time they develop the SOP. So now the SOP come into force, maybe they implement. So the time they go there, the SOP not be there in force.
So
but like I say, what is being you don't do before they come before they come
there. The term where the SOP come into place, now that the implementer.
No, the
so
implementer.
then they ask
the time when you go there now, the SOP is force.
Sunday,
the time when you go there now,
where police arrest and that time they will not develop this SOP.
No, the time when you go there now, the time when you go there now on the 12th. The SOP already in existence now.
So
the previous one they go, by then it was not in force. But the way you go there now, it don't in force. And so we have to implement it. And before you go there, some other people don't go there before. The same thing will happen to them.
This
same SOP,
you know, say the Bar Association are one where they don't condemn and say it illegal.
Look at the legality of maybe we'll go back now court and court will discuss them. So, but when they say look clear, this is very important. This me get the conviction, say it get legal basis.
So Assistant Commissioner.
No, clear this one. I beg. Okay. This is very important. This is not the way I did the argument there.
Okay, continue.
I might be right or wrong. No law get somebody get person guy the interpreter. Understand? I might be wrong or right. So but look at the legal basis, waiting the constitution, waiting the law say. If you read cap 150 of the laws of Saga, of 1960. If you look at Cap 150, Section 65, give the police power for make standing orders. Then at the generic form. Well, 65(8) of that one, it tells you, say, the police provide standing orders for the one of having for one cell and the people who they inside the cell. But all left Cap 150 because we see that only in 1960. 4 years after, in 1964, when the Police Act of 1964. Check Section 59, subsection 6. It is still there. So which means waiting in a Cap 150 was adopted in the 1964 Police Act. I'm still coming. And then people will say, I know people will talk about Section 17115. Now the Constitution, where they say, anything we know in tandem, any law we know in conformity with the Constitution is a nullity. But let me check Section 188 of the same Constitution we talk about. We adopt the 1964 Police Act. So which means whatever we do with inside the Police Act, illegal.
ACP.
So look
That's
at
my argument. This is very. Let's get this clear. We have
As they talk about the legality, law also not forget say certain set of people go visit this detainee when I eligible they talk about when I in brother, colleagues, musician, a producer, and also a female musician where the police may also allegedly arrest them where they now in a custody at the same time and when they shave their hair also. But this female musician where Nastazi, the same day the police be release them. Why all in your case different from the other people who are detained we still in a custody?
Stasi on the same issue.
Yes.
I have to check that one. I don't even know whether
where I say police arrest them.
I know they make so many arrests, but individuals by name.
But you are
I don't know them by.
Police
I know people were arrested. I know people were arrested, including where somebody where they say in brother. Understand? But Stasi, I don't even know. If you put on film, I don't even know his name.
Commissioner,
honestly, I don't even know Stasi this.
Commissioner, looking at this whole situation of LAJ, let me know the reason why it's still there. Because yes, in any case, you get two sides of it. The complainant, we go raising concern, okay, in case go to the police or law enforcing body. Is it that LAJ in detain one still based on the complainant or on the law enforcing body, when are the police for ensure say, discipline them?
It did it because the law say for did it. The law give power under Section 17, subsection 3 of Act number 6 of 1991 for detaining for something up to 10 days. I know what you understand. So it's still we still within the law as provided for. Understand? So then you did it. But I'll tell you say before the day done, or probably before going tomorrow, you go there and say you don't charge a list.
So the manner and way how the law enforcing body don't treat the police, how you go describe them, professional or legal? Because other set of body them don't describe this as something with demeaning to a human right.
Normally, I say issues of professionalism is subjective. Now, how you say them and how me say them.
So you come up.
So me from your side, we've done the right thing. We don't do things that we do within the ambit of the law.
Injecting him and shaving off his hair, not the right thing.
You read the press release. There is not like injection.
But that is alleged of in people.
Well, let me refute them. We can very clearly. You know, if you read press release, is there.
Inject them with a red substance. Now, one way, the police deny from the press release owner poll.
We did that.
And also allegation of a broken rib, don't they come out? And on Friday, where people be they expect say if appear in a court, not be appear in a court, the other people them where the police arrest, we go visit them, then be appear in a court. And allegation are that now because of medical condition make enable appear in a court on Friday. How to this be?
LAJ with the other people that arrest different offenses that they investigate them for. One day we will fall under 17.3b, one day we will fall under 17.3a in terms of detention. So those ones we are dealt with, and they don't done. They're not telling us about aggravation. I mean,
so
public order offenses. Public order offenses.
Arrest.
Public order offenses.
The other people will go visit them with the police.
Public order offenses.
So how about the one they owner arrest on Friday? We go for go.
I tell you, all I need to do now. That is what I'm saying. Public order offenses.
So
and then be holding for. Understand? LAJ, you say, a different one. We are looking at the last act of 1916. wouldn't be anchored for robbery with violence. So now 2 different laws of the operate on, 2 different ones.
Commissioner, other view they go say the whole issue of LJ, the issue of alleged robbery, and looking at how they deal with this matter, so much emphasis and some of the treatment them, we see other organizations, they don't condemn, say, don't exceed or go beyond on a mandate. I mean, you think say this not just because of alleged robbery, or there is more to it?
We may exceed, but that's like I say.
So why the need for
some other people, but I don't tell you say that the SOP where they exist. I don't show you the legal basis where we use, where they exist in that place. I make them very clear.
But from
I start with Cap 150. Understand? Section 65. Where the 65 we give the generic, they go into specifics. The specifics now are particularly mention 8. Understand? Then from there we move to 1964 when the Police Act, Section 59. Understand? Subsection 6. I make them very clear. Right. Then say any law will not in conformity with the Constitution, nullity. Section 171, 115 of the Constitution. Let me make reference to Section 188.
Okay.
We adopt the 1964 Police Act.
Continue for the it.
So which means.
All right, we'll come back to you, Assistant Commissioner of Police. Quickly, Law bring in the lawyer Naya. We also double as the president for the Salon Bar Association. Listening to the police spokesman this morning, he don't try for justify the police action where una they condemn. According to Ramna existing SOP with the for this particular holding center, and according to Ram, feel say there as the police don't overstep the limits we campaign human rights actions we didn't take for LJ. With all then justification there, so we the police don't make with what una put on a press release, you think say it add up?
Obviously no.
Okay.
The man a policeman a lawyer. So we all get we mandate and we all know what's in our job and what we they do. Looking at the Constitution, Section 20, way give with the right we say no person shall be subject to any form of torture or any punishment or other treatment which is inhuman or degrading day. Yeah. And then you go below that. The section where they below that, when I said 22, they say anything where they inconsistent with this provision, whether it been under in existence before, by the provision of this section 1, that provision they already do illegal. Yeah. So then law they are with
ACP
Kamara point out to 1964. Now all law them. So like how can say people are moving, we're progressive, yeah. These laws were there, and then in 1991 we say we're a progressive nation and we want things for go on this way. We make laws, we make the Constitution. When I in the one way anything where they inconsistent to the Constitution nor get any effect, it say will be void and of no effect. In SF quota 171. The one where they talk about Police Act 188, the Constitution 188, it just establish, like how the Constitution they establish every other agency, establish Office of President, establish Judiciary. It just give efficacy to the establishment. But then the Constitution clearly states and say back anything where they at variance with this Constitution and the provision they inside they null and void. And with regards this torture in particular, if you look at Section 22, it clearly states that anything where we done there before, if it contravenes 21, is of no effect.
So why would they get a twist from the Salon police in terms of letting people understand the law, where they take action of, where they get people in, and then sell, where they ensure say they apply disciplinary action? Why are we having a twist? Because what you say with waiting ASP is a total different thing.
Well, I don't know what are the issues here, because obviously they think they are acting within the law, but we now they tell and say they are not. If you also look at international treaties where Sierra Leone don't sign, for example, CAT, it go tell you it protect people from inhuman and degrading system treatment. And as I don't say, probably the SOP then they be applicable before now. But this is a progressive nation. We are moving forward. We for make sure say we move in the direction for protect people their human rights, basic human rights. If I am arrested and accused of an offense, I have a right to a solicitor. I have a right to speak to him confidentially. Anybody will also a victim, at the same time the victim himself, he get rights to a fair hearing. So that is why we are calling at this stage, say, let them hurry up with this process, let them do what they're supposed to do within the ambit of the law. So that victim, they self when they say when the victim of the alleged assault and violence and aggravation, himself go get justice, because himself your justice lie within the law.
Okay.
So as police, if you want for maintain law and order, if you want to provide justice for people, there is a procedure, there is a process, there are laws. Do it within the ambits of the law. But this explanation where Inspector ASP give it, so all what.
Okay, Michael Aswalo, continue for the way to inside the program.
All right, let's bring in Ibrahim Tommy. Michael, I make mention of torture, and apart from even the lawyer of the detainee who they talk about now, in several interviews, he don't make mention of torture where, according to in clients they go through. And the police there, so now citizens on the call on the government for take action, especially the head of the police, when the IGP say therefore Saga at this particular point with different issues, then whether they come up from the police, where una self as civil society activists, them don't they call out the unprofessionalism of the police. You think an attempt this now where governments for take action, especially on the way how the police they torture or manhandle allegedly citizens?
By the way, it is not in my practice, not to my style. For the last decade or more I've been in this position, I have never ever called for anybody in resignation. That's not what I do. What my team can do are they identify problems and recommend solutions. Resignation a personal issue or dismissal a decision of the person who appoint them. If the president, when not in wisdom, he can make that point and think, say, the police leadership not they do well, it's within his past to make that decision. But what's really important for say is that quickly, Khadija, I'll go back to what we Assistant Commissioner of Police say, a very not good boss. The way how you want let members of public believe say what you do justified legally. It's not the law. You get, with respect, you get a wrong appreciation of the law. What you are suggesting is that by the Police Act, we refer to, even now make SOP, we say, President and a police cell na 14 years. What they refer to, if you go to Section 20, my colleague don't refer to, and the various provisions, they tell you, say, if any law day, before the 1991 Constitution, where they clearly spell out punishment, that law day, the Constitution adopt them. So, for example, before the 1991 Constitution, we get law where they allow what? Death penalty. Mm-hmm. So it's clearly stated laws or pre-existing laws before the Constitution, and the Constitution adopt. Not to follow it come in 2021 and say we SOPC for shave off here. Apart from the fact that it's degrading and that's a violation of the Constitution, it is blatant abuse of human rights, and many international systems are established and they are a blatant abuse of person. A suspect, and this is the point that we have to understand. We're talking about the suspect, so I want to clarify that. Now, so the point where they make Khadija, it's important that we have in this conversation. And the best the police can do in their circumstances now for make sure they own up and talk, say, yes, we went wrong. They don't have to be, I don't know if, they don't have to be willing, but that's the right thing to do. Then therefore, wash themselves and say that to themselves and come out to the public and say, we will not do this in the future because it is wrong and no police force should be forcefully shaving off a suspect's hair. If you investigate and drop the charges, if you investigate, you charge, they acquit the man, how you go compensate for them here. If they hear this man an artist, keep in mind, this man an artist. That in here, now added value to in stage. I mean, people don't think through these things. It's just the way they discuss it is very casual. For say artists to in here, they add value to in stage with himself, beauty and all of that. You go cut in here and later then discharge them, or even not even charge them. They say no, na SOP. Who's SOP? I mean, please, as State Commissioner of Police, I maintain me cool, but some things can be annoying. Lord, not do that one day. Lord, we make an undertaking as a police force, even before the IPCB investigation. By the way, your questions about the injector, the touch one, all of that, my hope, and I'm sure we all should work collectively towards that, is the IPCB go investigate, and that by God in power, LAJ go get witnesses. We're not to police, we're not to police officers.
So the question now, that's order for belief, because the question now, now order for belief. This same police earlier in when this conversation starts, they don't come out and say no. The police not shaving here. All of a sudden, a press release again, then come out again and say yes, then shaving here based on SOP. Although then denying the alleged injection of a red substance within GAM. But this same police, so then they deny one thing today, and tomorrow they can't admit say yes to do them. Or therefore believe say they don't inject them.
No, that make this. For me, important that we get a legit statement. It's also important that I'm sure we can involve medical practitioners. We can do some tests, lab tests. If it really comes to that, you can even seek expertise from outside the country, follow establish that the injector. Because if the injector with any substance not good for a system, it could lead to loss of life, it could lead to disability, it could be mental. So we have to treat it seriously. But my hope is that we're not going to go down. That will be a really, really new law for injecting body with substance. So for now, for my mental sanity, I want for trust the police, they not do that one day. And that we go or look into the bottom of this matter and establish it.
Mr. Tommy, looking at this whole situation of how police they handle issues, specifically they all get for do with LAJ. On I don't state say so many things in the way no legal and they don't exceed the mandate. You think that the police go realize and apply the rightful thing, allow access to in family and also lawyer representative, and also let people really get a voice from LAJ? Because another key allegation when they go around on social media, some people even allege say LAJ not even there alive again.
I know, I don't think so. No,
that is an allegation.
No, that's outrageous. If they're alive, a lawyer, or at least one of the lawyers that were involved in this matter, blog as recent as last night, say the man they do well. But it's shocking if the man not still get access to in family members and lawyers, and that would be really shocking. And I don't know why police even thinks we arrest person. It's a constitutional guarantee. A friend and I don't make reference to the constitution and all the laws in this country. If I perhaps just go back to section 23 and look what the constitution says. As soon as you arrest person, the first chapter you get now a right for know why you don't arrest them, followed by right to access to legal representation, a right to family visit. There's the Luanda guidelines, so my friend are so knowledgeable about. Those are all things we don't establish and government don't accede to. We want to make progress. We've made, like Edina said, we've made significant progress over the years. But it is acts like this where they make you stop short and now ask yourself questions of where are we headed? Is there a strategy for make sure say we are on a consistent path to addressing human rights issues in the country?
Okay.
Continue for the return of the program. Law bringing now the police. So many questions. We starting from Edina, Mr. Tommy don't put, and then according to the president for the Bar Association, they still believe say this SOP way the police they quote illegal, and the alleged torture and the access where the police don't give to this person illegal representative or talk to them or even hear inside of the story is still illegal.
I think the only thing we get for do maybe we can go back like I don't call IPCB, I don't call Human Rights Commission and a host of other institutions. Maybe we can look into them, but the fact of the matter is the basis way I'm the basis way I'm the try for lay
ACP,
the foundation.
look into on the normal practice, because the Human Rights Commission an institution we also established by the government for protect people and human rights. So if alleged issues of inhuman behavior from the police don't they come out, why not allow the Human Rights Commission for step into this matter?
I think they didn't step in.
But according to the Human Rights Commission, they don't able to get access yet. When I even ask them for write a letter, where they don't write the letter, but still they don't able to get access to through one lawyer commander.
Then they step in.
So looking at
when?
Then they step in.
When
but if you ask the question and I'm not answer, not it. The first one I ask, I'm not answer. The second one I ask, I'm not answer. The third one, I'm not answer. So which one do I answer now? Which one do I answer? The basis why I'm delay, like I'm there again. Why I'm delay, now the fact that we get right for develop SOPs. The content of them, understand? The content of them, we could discuss them afterwards. And maybe then we'll decide for the other.
no, you said develop.
No, this not just. No, the content of her. Why am I saying the content of her? The reason why they said.
Out and condemn this SOP.
The reason why I say we discuss the content afterwards. And the fact that we do what we get at the SOP and I try for bring out the legality, we give power for say we go make SOP, we go make standing orders. No, it is there. Not only it is not. It is not
accept say na the right method.
We're not challenging a right to develop.
That is what I'm saying. So
the content is inconsistent with the constitutional guarantees.
So
it is plain illegal.
That could be discussed afterwards.
No,
but
that's
the fact of the matter is,
and accept
the
that.
fact of the matter is, we get right for develop SOP.
But then
The law allow me.
we
never accept that. That is the situation. So now that's what we have to do. We get right for. So if you now look at the content, you say you have problem with the content, maybe that will be discussed afterwards. But the fact of the matter is, we did waiting the law say before do
have a
at the
problem
time.
with the content. You don't have a problem with the content.
I on a personal note, you possibly shall not get another problem.
Assistant Commissioner.
Somebody else will get problem, but we don't get problem with the content.
Assistant Commissioner. The two people we get here, the two people who get here are legal-minded people. You first of all agree and accept whatever one don't apply on this particular case. If they against the person human rights and also illegal.
How do I agree if I'm here? I'm here, but I'm arguing.
But they don't state the law to you, say whatever one apply.
Now the same law
not
the same law with the states, the same law for states.
But you kind of twist and let
no, you're not a twister. No, it's not open radio. They don't make that statement.
But you try for say what you want to do.
No, make that statement. That statement for withdraw statement.
You agree say the police.
No, let me withdraw that statement. Say no, she has to withdraw that statement.
No, SCP, but
no, I cannot allow it. You cannot tell me say
no,
you cannot do it.
Say whatever I want to do.
No, say because we didn't agree. And you be any right to say. I mean that one is offensive.
SCP, you agree say the police blunder.
It's offensive.
No,
police not blunder. The police no blunder.
But we get two legal people and we them for the bar association don't come.
Why can't contest and legal people? They are legal. Like I even Madam President. I know Mr. Tommy long before now. Did I ever contest and say they are not legal? They are legal. But I make reference again to the same legal document.
The same SOP they don't condemn and say illegal.
They could condemn. I make I say this thing. No, you are not accepting police blunder. Police do waiting day at the SOP, and the SOP by law tell you say you get right for develop standard up.
So for legal.
So we develop them. So now waiting at the same. Now that we don't develop it one day, we don't do something. People say it. This one we now go into the content of the
well, this is what we are talking about. Listen, SCP, in as much as I agree say the police blunder. So all on our actions, so I don't take from the beginning of the arrest. Keep this person in detention, in lawyer not get access to them, family members not get access to them. Now the legal procedure una use
aspect of a lawyer not get access to them. Those ones will go back and look at them.
We don't need to go back.
We go back and look at them. It is possible.
I don't. We answer the questions where the public don't they ask.
Na classroom they?
Not so classroom, but they have
no, we're not the classroom. We're not the classroom, madam. Not a yes or no answer. They ask me yes, no, yes, no. Not to classroom.
Assistant Commissioner.
I've told you what I should tell you.
From what you they talk is like the police they trivialize the issue.
No, I want to trivialize them.
How?
We they come and tell them and say this is not the situation. Understand? Then you escalate the discussion from here.
But these are the questions the public
escalate
ask.
The discussion from here. We don't only get to inform the public, we to inform them. you go escalation from this other level.
Okay,
continue for the get the bar situation, get civil society, then go escalation from this other level.
Continue for the with we Assistant Commissioner. Over to you, Michael Aswalo. We don't see a contradicting view. I mean, the police representative with the unable accept say whatever they don't do and apply on LJ in case that's something illegal and they against a human right. It's still a reason for justify say whatever they do then are the law book and illegal.
Okay, so let me make a clarification here. Police get right for develop SOPs. But the content of the SOP should not be in contravention with the Constitution. Because if it is illegal. And that is what we're telling them. Secondly, whenever you arrest somebody or an accused person, you get right to a lawyer and you get right for letting a lawyer talk to her confidentially. They are in contravention of that as well. For me, at this point, what I go say, it's not a matter of blame or this or that. It's how do we move forward? So me, I want for, at this point, take this opportunity for talk to the leadership of the police. Let not look at this as stone throwing, but let look at them as an opportunity for make things right. This is an opportunity for him for gain the trust of the people again. If we as Bar Association don't say what you have done is illegal, we don't call for 4 things and for let them do. We don't ask them say, let the Independent Police Complaint Board conduct an immediate investigation into the allegations of the torture, the inhuman and degrading treatment of both LJ and all the other detainees them. We don't also ask the Police Council for suspend the operations of SOPs in all police custody facility pending a thorough review of their SOP for ensuring them compliant with the Constitution and international treaty instruments that we Salon don't sign. We also don't ask them say make them give LJ and all the other suspects where they immediate access to their lawyer them as provided in the Constitution. We also don't ask them say as the Constitution provide in section 17.3, since they send a felonious offense and they investigate her for, let them make sure so they bring and can court within 10 days. So this at this point, this is an opportunity for let the leadership of the police act. For let the leadership of the police show say yes, it get the interest of the people and it go do the right thing. This is a progressive country. We all want let the profile of Sierra Leone in human rights level in the world go before. We all want for let we rights then guaranteed. I don't want work at tomorrow on the street or my family work at tomorrow on the street, then arrest them and say yes, we don't make SOP now for can baba now before even court door here he say yes, he guilty. So at this point, me just want to say police na public service una dey give. If una dey give public service, una get forget the trust and the confidence of the police. And this is the time to act for get that public
and this
confidence.
And this trust wey dey talk about, Michaela, now one way different reports don't they show say the people the way the police supposed for protect their life and property them, they lost trust in them. So if the states then at this kind of particular position, public not get trust in the police again. Also work where the police they do.
Well, I'm not gonna say the police say do work because if police left, if all police put down their tools and go sit down, this place go be in anarchy. You understand? But they need to do more. We don't identify the problems now. Let them correct it.
Okay.
Let them show that they care. Let them show that the police is in tandem with waiting the government wants. Because presidents are going to abolish death penalty and remove seditious libel law and try to move the country in human rights profile. And then police still stuck in 1960 SOPs.
Okay.
So let's move. Let's be progressive. And then to the victim, I want to talk on the victim because it's Alex say at this point we just talk about the police and this. So I just want to say, let them take action immediately so this victim safe go get in your own day na court. Let justice go be served to the victim.
Right. Okay, Michael, we they look at the way forward now. The Bar Association don't point out waiting then one let the police do now immediately. Carl, waiting now let the police do now.
I mean, as always, we want accountability and justice. Make sure say they investigate this and all the issues, allegations where they fly here and there. Let an independent body like the IPCB It could also include Human Rights Commission. By the Human Rights Commission, they're on the IPCB, and there are other government institutions sitting on the board. But their investigation unit look into this and establish the truth of this matter and ensure that there is accountability and justice. And one final comment on this SOP, no SOP. Anything, let's cut things to a chase. Anything where you remove from a suspect, we not be able to restore him after you conclude the investigation and find out, say, there's no case against them, not taken from them. So that make when a suspect they go into police cells, they say pull your watch, pull your chain, pull your shoes if you get metal, right? When they come and they give you back, we cut the man here, or you cut his, or you shouldn't just think about it. It's unthinkable.
Right, quickly.
Your finger, yeah, they will cut it because you go use them for clock posting. I understand, but perhaps go blow a few days. You will cut up. So let them learn. Then get right for developed SOPs. But those SOPs, and this is the most important point I like to make, those SOPs have to be human rights friendly. They have to be based on the respect for human rights to the Constitution stipulate.
All right, quickly, ACP, the Salon Bar Association don't state within the one law una do. One among them, now that una for make sure say una bring the detainee now na court.
Thank you very much. Firstly, I want to say respect the views of the bar association. I also respect the voice of civil society. And make them the usual word say we get for escalator from here. I mean, I think now the same thing they say. So we not go down everything in our studio. From here, we don't get the report. We don't get the report there. We will look into all of that. And the one way concern will come in and they will look into all the other areas.
So when they appear court?
Likely today or tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much. That's the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Brema Kamara. In the police spokesperson, we also get Michael Swallow, we are the president for the Salon Bar Association. And of course, the executive director for the Center for Accountability and the Rule of Law, we are Ibrahim Tommy. Thank you, Ona Kam, at the studio this morning and can talk about alleged police brutality on the citizens. Now they end the program. Good morning, Salon. Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Coleman and them produce the program. Moses Kavoran and they make una watch we live now Facebook page. DJ Lava give you technical support and so on. All we watch we now Facebook page you get over 2 million views. Thank you very much. Mina Khadija Bangura they say have a wonderful day.
And it's up to you, Kalon, they say bye bye.